Welcome back, everyone. Drake Hawkins again, playing some more Kingdoms Reborn. A couple of you pointed out very astutely that I seem to have shut something off instead of turning. Oh yes, there we go. The warehouse that I meant to prioritize, I shut off. Well, that's not ideal. Did I do that to a farm as well somewhere? I are told. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't hit a farm, but definitely hit that one. Oh, right. Slow ticking of time, friends. The slow ticking of time. Animals are eating our crops. Yeah, that's a thing that happens. I mean, we're good to our local wildlife, apparently. I've got like poison arrow dudes all over the place. I've switched them in and out of poison mode a number of times. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Om nom nom. Gobbling up my crops. But the problem is, there is no, like, there's no fencing, there's no, like, these guys are off doing their own thing. Well, an entire herd moves through. And by the time this hunter gets back here, the herd's gone. Dying of starvation? Holy crap, that didn't take long, did it? Ha! Look at that. 12,000 food used up in instantaneous ways. Wow. Okay. The food stability is definitely not a thing we have sorted out yet. We've got 3 merchants that are perpetually buying food, supposed to be perpetually buying food. And we've got a bazillion people should be, yeah, we got 1,200 wheat flour still. We have a dozen of these guys who have now been upgraded. Amazing. We used the 12,000 in 2 years, so we used basically 10,000 food effectively here without producing almost any, apparently, in less than a year. In about a year. And our bread production is half of that. So we produce half of the food required to feed our people just with our bakeries. And everything else together isn't keeping up. It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, we've gone through this cycle repeatedly. Every time we have a population growth and build more food, we have to we overpopulate and then they starve out. So I think there's still definitely some balancing. People have been telling me we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. You know, the armchair coaching. Which is totally fine. It's par for the course, but it isn't quite that simple in most cases. Intercity roads. Oh my gosh, I never noticed that. Oh, and shrubberies. Ooh, lovely. That was what somebody mentioned. There's shrubberies. I'm like, I don't remember shrubberies. Increase the... Oh, that's what I needed. Oh, thank you for pointing that out, whomever did a while back. Shrubberies need to go in like this. Oh, I need to click them individually? Big log rows of shrubberies in the back lane. It's the fencing behind the housing. It's great. Oh, this is great. I'm gonna make big shrubberies. Each one of these is gonna need a build order. It's gonna be hideous. I can't drag and drop. I can't just drag a line of them. Stop dinging at me, I'm trying to click fast. There. I like the little corners of the lots on these desert houses. I mean, these guys have the little wood things, but it looks cooler with the stone. The little sandstone, maybe. That's great. Auto appeal increasing. Oops. And I have to, of course, hold the shift button. It costs $100 a piece. Should have thought of that before I started placing them all. Yeah, baby. We got shrubberies. The shrubbery ain't got nothing on me. Maybe we need to make one with, like, a path down the middle. You don't know the reference, shame on you. That noise is quite hideous. It'd be nice to be able to drag and drop those for sure. I mean, the appeal in here is all fine. We could do some work along the backs of these ones. Apparently not. Apparently there's mountains in the way or something. They don't like it. Let's do them every second tile here for a bit. There you go. Lovely. These guys are back to back, which is less than ideal. So in the future, we'll build our rows with a space in between them. I like it. That's what I was hoping the gardens were. The gardens seem very. They seem like they're cute for you know, visual appeal, but they effectively are pointless because they cover what? If you put it in between a circle of houses, you would get them. But I mean, then you got this empty space. You could put it in like terrible place and then put a garden with shrubberies around it. Might be good. And then you got 8 houses that are okay. But a house is 5 tiles wide, so it only will cover the house next to it. It can never cover 2 houses deep. So that is that. So we spent a small fortune on gardening, and that's it for today. Thanks, bye. Just kidding. Yeah, we're producing a ton of wheat. Not coming off the fields. It's early spring and it's still on the fields. Because of the build project. That's what's happened to the food. Instead of our laborers picking up the food, oh, that's what's happened. Okay. Yeah, see, this I don't like. If I auto these, they don't put the right amounts in. They do not put the people properly in spots. See that? They prioritize. Auto isn't a let's balance labor and buildings. Auto is buildings first. Like, it doesn't matter if I've built. Like, these are not prioritized. Or those are prioritized. These are not prioritized. But this guy gets a person first. He will get a builder first. This is a prioritized building. So they're like, oh, we don't have the resources for it, and I'm starving, but we're still going to shove somebody off there. The ability to prioritize behavior should prioritize the player's or a character's behavior within the parameters of sensible, not suicide to get this done. That's not priority. That's slave labor, and I'm not sure that that's the intended feature. I didn't get a pop-up asking, would you like to allow slave labor, like we do with cannibalism. I just feel like that's not a great balance. If a builder, there should be a way to balance building and labor. If I want to set out a building project for a new neighborhood, I can't do that. Because if I set out a building project for a new neighborhood and say, make this happen, guys, they won't make it happen. They'll stand around. The person for this build order isn't building. If they were, they would be over here building. But they're off doing something else. Probably picking up some item to take it to a brewery or something, you know, low priority like that. But it's the idea that the characters, the work, it's early spring, okay? And the fields from fall are still full. They're planting underneath the fields, which is good, I guess. But the wheat's not going anywhere. Is it a lack of storage? It might be. There's 1, 2, 3 places right there that could take storage. 4 warehouses that can hold more stuff. We've got a crop right here. This is a wheat storage only spot. That's it. And yet the wheat is piled up in the fields. It's because when I put down a build order and the game has extra labor, like these guys finished working in this field in the fall, instead of going and joining the labor force to do the work like picking up the stuff they just harvested, if there's build orders to be done, they will go do the build first. At the sacrifice of literally their own life. They'll starve to death, and their children, just to get those build orders done. So that's the unfortunate condition right now in the game, where it won't allow you to schedule things properly like you would naturally do. Like you build out, you plan, you know, your planning section, right? You got your planning session, you're like, let's build this, let's do this. They won't. They're going to starve. There's hundreds of them here that are at risk of starving because they won't do. They're forcing build orders instead of feeding, instead of going and getting food, because they can't recognize that food is available. I bet you these bakeries are probably very full or repeatedly full. Well, it looks like people are delivering food from the bakery. That's good. It'd be nice to have the ability to have either more workers in a building and have them deliver. Because as far as I know, the baker doesn't do the delivery. He won't take the food. I don't think so, yeah. There's a baker, just left the spot. Which one's the baker? He's seating. He's a baker. Okay, this guy works at the bakery. He's a very happy fellow. He works at this bakery. There is bread at the bakery. He just left the bakery. He's going to walk. Oops. Where'd he go? He just stopped being a baker and became a forester. Or he just had a gender change. I'm not sure which. They swap that around like crazy, I'm telling you. And that person is the baker here. Was the baker a second ago. See what's going on? So the person in this bakery has now changed twice in the 2 minutes that we watched them. Not even 2 minutes. In the 1 minute that we watched them, the baker job changed twice. And it's not because people are starving, unless those bakers just happen to keep starving off, but the baker walked past her bakery and stood in front of another bakery that didn't have food, when hers did. Stood in front of another bakery and waited. That lady right there that's Grace, she was the baker. And this bakery has nobody anywhere near. There's the two bakers. Coming over here. See if he makes it back to the bakery as a baker. Nope, he's there to pick up. No, did he just work at that bakery? I'm so confused. Okay, we got pesticides to increase farm production. We'll do ideation to increase the number of cars we get. Oh, he's working. He's working. And he's no longer baker. I don't know. He's listed as a baker, but he's now switched bakeries. Over to this one again. Oh, the fun of management. And we're just starving off like crazy. We know how this cycle works in this particular build. I know there's a lot of changes that have happened, and a lot of updates that have happened, and hopefully that'll improve things. Bottom line is my people are starving with massive amounts of food sitting in the fields. And I can't do anything about it. There's literally nothing you can do at this point because we've done this, it's happened 4 or 5 times. It's a cycle that we seem to be stuck in. They've got 165 food. There's thousands of food sitting in the field. Thousands of them. Thousands of food sitting in the field. And people are too busy. Why is that turned off now? Oh, it's a field. Oh, that's what you were saying I turned off. So I tried to prioritize and actually turned it off. Okay, cool. Thank you for pointing that one out. The people are, instead of working the cattle yard or whatever, they're scattering to try to collect food. Except for they won't do the one thing they need to do, which is to go pick up the food and take it somewhere. And that's the job of the markets. And again, the markets are offline. They're not going to be improved in this build, unfortunately. The change needed to fix the market, I'm told, is not enough input. No kidding. No kidding, we don't have enough wheat. Where could we possibly go to find some wheat? My kingdom for some wheat. Oh well. We just power the speed through, a bunch of people die, they get around to finally collecting a few things, and there the papayas have come online. Look at the food production. This year alone, our papaya production. Or this season alone. We're in summer now, and we're still starving to death. 1,400 papaya they made, 1,300 again there. This cycle happens every 4 or 5 years, and I've been told, I've had people complain, oh, it's because you build a lot of houses and let them grow, and then that you don't build the food. Well, I've been building food perpetually the whole time, and adding food in. This is a food production system going in place. This is all farms that have been added. These are fields or ranches that have been added. We regularly produce enough food for the people, but it's actually not regularly. It's irregularly, because as soon as I make a change to anything in the balance, I slightly throw the balance off and everybody goes crazy. And it is, I'm 95% sure if these markets worked the way they were intended, we'd be fine. Because everybody would get their food from their homes and it would be available all the time. They wouldn't, the guy down in this house, we can even search and find one. There's nobody in that house. They've all died off, right? Let's see. Let's find a hungry person. You are Phil Input. You're starving, and you're going to fill input somewhere. Okay. You don't have anything with you. You're still starving. Let's see. Where are you going? You're clearing drops. You're not getting food. You're clearing ground somewhere. Dying of starvation now. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? I lost you. Oh, you're clearing drops. There you go. You've managed to go... You're dying of starvation. You managed to go pick up wheat across the map and put it in somewhere. You're now working in a charcoal burner. The rate they change jobs is amazing. It's like Millennialville here. That's what our next town's gonna be called. Nickanack Millennialville. They're changing jobs like fast. Oh, he's gone. He either died of old age, either that was Chan who died of old age, or he starved. Or he just disconnected because he went in a building or something, or I clicked off. Whatever it was. Yeah. Yeah. I don't, there's nothing I can say or do to fix these issues except for let it run its course, because this has happened repeatedly. Now we're at 570 people, they've got some food. It's mid-autumn, and they have 3,000. So they're going to starve again in the next year because they won't get enough food off, and then everybody will get hungry, and then they won't take the food and clear it. So, you know. There's still cocoa. Tons, piles, buckets of cocoa underneath this place. Look at this. They're swarming to pick up the cocoa. You could have done that with the food and actually gotten the food. That would have been a great feature. So yeah, they'll swarm around, try to pick everything up. The farmers will soon be done. It's late autumn. Most of the farmers are now going offline. So they should be adding to the work pool, but are they adding to the builders or the laborers? They're adding to builders still. Apparently we haven't gotten the building done. Laborers coming in the wineries. We got the foresters operational over here. Should be planting some food. Or planting some fruit trees. Let's do that, that, and that. For the two that are operational so far. We got 4,000 food. I mean, in spite of the feeding them, we've already piled that much food in, but how much of it how much of it is not going to make it to their... How many of them are not going to make it to the food? That's just the food that we have in the fields. So, when they were starving in the spring, it's now early winter, when they were starving in spring, there was at least 3,000 bread sitting in the field for them to not eat, because they were starving. Just, there's no, I don't know, there's no way I know to fix that with what we currently have. I do know how to fix that. It's called put a marketplace in and let it do its job. So the people, again, so Chan doesn't have to run from Southwest Desertville all the way over to here to pick up some food and die on the way. Because he would actually go to his house to pick up food, not to run to the fruit gatherer or the bee place to pick up honey. It is what it is at the moment, but we'll work with it. We'll get around it, sort of. Not really get around it. We'll try to avoid build projects that are big enough to kill them off. I'm hoping that the as soon as the markets, doesn't matter whether it's this build or a new a game save game breaking, I don't care. If we get the markets working, if the markets become a viable thing, I'm in. I'm 100% in. We will quit this this city and toss it to the wayside and happily go do markets, but we'll see when that happens. Looks like we need some more immigration. I know, I'm a twit. Okay, how are we doing on the... Well, we're consuming all the wheat, so our wheat flour is not going to do much. We're now at 1,000 wheat flour, which is actually concerning, because we need to be producing more. We need to be turning more of it into flour. More of the wheat into flour, because the wheat is getting gobbled up. It's midwinter. We have 1,300 food, so by the end of winter we'll be starving again. Somebody had said that bakeries don't produce during the winter. I don't know that that is true. This one is producing. This one, no. This one just finished a cycle. That one's currently producing. What happened? Oh, how does that place not have supplies? That's amazing. Our research is just blasting away. We'll be able to finish the entire tech tree in a couple of years. We're making 4,000 research at a time, so yeah, it's doing well. Lumber supplies are through the roof because we just clear-cut the entire northwest passage there. Wildcard, lovely. We haven't even touched the irrigation reservoir. I don't think they're quite big enough to fit in our very, very watery space. And I think if that weren't the case, if we were not sitting in a heavily drenched location, we'd probably be okay to use them, but no thanks. Cattle farm and a pig farm. I mean, they could put in another pig farm. Oh! Removal card, what? Oh, the removal card comment was about that. You know what? Well, we're gonna put him in there. Why not? Why not, friends? These ones are not being made for some reason. Not really certain why. It's been an entire year since these guys started. Look, they're already at full population, but these two aren't built. I don't know. Just don't. I don't know. The proximity probably to a builder, or yeah, proximity to a current person who's supposed to be a builder, maybe. I don't know. Foresters they're okay. They've got enough wood to forest there. Starvation round 2 for today. It is what it is. We can't fix it. We've got it's being fixed by letting them finish the jobs. I could go through and shut everything off, but like these guys aren't constructing. We have more laborers now than we have the 30 demanded laborers and 24 construction workers. These two buildings have been partially constructed for over a year now. I'm not sure what is... Oh, and this is like 2-3 years running now. This was the beginning of last episode. This pottery place was not built. And yet, they built all the shrubberies. Every single shrubbery is in place. Yeah. And we starve them off again. So, yeah, I mean, the city is collapsing due to its size without markets. We've made it past the 300 glass ceiling of previous builds, for sure, but without the markets operational, our housing is just going to keep overusing, and unless, I mean, the birth control thing just seems dumb to me. It does. We got 200 kids. Maybe we have to go with that birth control card and roll it until it appears. But it force them not to be able to have kids so that they don't starve by not getting food. A little broken, but everybody loves the sound, the chiming sound of death and carnage, don't they? Welcome to Nickenack. There's the birth control pill card. Birth control pill. Well, we don't need what? Master brewer? Home brew we can remove? That's a lot of science. But 308 science is not worth not starving everybody. So good night, home brew. You're gonzo. There, don't make any more kids. Unless there's housing population for it. So they'll cap out at 700, and then they'll stop making kids unless the kids are replacing ones that died. Which is not hard to do, because we got a lot of opportunity for new kids. How did you just clear-cut your entire forest? How have you not planted when you're supposed to cut and plant? Oh, what the heck? Did I accidentally tell them to clear-cut this? Like, look at this. There's almost no trees here. I don't get it. They shouldn't be able to, because every time they cut one, they plant one. That's the cut and plant. They literally go up, they chop down the tree, they take a step. There, she's right there. Perfect example. Thank you, whoever this is hiding behind the grass. Vivian, thank you for the explanation. Foresting, gathering tree. Gather tree. Really? You actually do that? I've never seen them do that before. Oh no, she's going off to do a job that's not related to her forestry. That's what's happening. And we starve another few hundred. Yeah. We had 12,000 food. Everybody was fine. We had 12,000 food. Population jumped by 100 and we have 0 food for 3 years running. So, I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. It's definitely carnage and pain, and I'm not going to retry this episode. It's a death cycle that they're in because of population. So I mean, we got the birth control card on. It's a really silly concept. It's a really silly concept that you have to put in a mandated order that stops that controls them. Like that's weird. That's just a weird idea. It's never happened anywhere in human society, and it's definitely not simulating something that's real in any place anywhere. Oh, they managed to get around to building the pigs only 2 years later. Good job. Good job, builders. Oh, they got a couple lovely desert houses down here. I like it. 23 houses insulated. 22 houses upgraded with their brick. That's excellent. Ah, the bells are chiming for us all. To say goodbye. 551 people. And plummeting. Because they're still running off. I told them to cut a bunch of trees, and apparently they'll do that instead of picking up food, instead of eating food. But part of the problem is the market. Okay, legitimately, after all the the mockery and the fun, the market not working means that all the rest of the balancing systems aren't going to work. So the person's supposed to. The characters that are hungry, these characters are supposed to go to their home and pick up food, because it's going to be available within a few tiles, within this many tiles, is all their food, all their tools, all their medicines, right? So they can go get their food, their tools, their medicines, their coal, everything they need to keep themselves alive. All nicely packed within the marketplace. Who's this? Oh, this is our merchant. Right, so that's how it's supposed to work, and it will once the bug with the coding on this thing is fixed. Okay, so they would then spend their time not running around dying; they would spend their time running around doing work. So presumably, the people near here would work nearest here. So they would associate this person over here. What job do they have? I don't know. There's 4 people right here. That's the 4 workers. You are working where? You live there. It doesn't show where you work. Workplace none. Okay. Where was your house again? Yes, there. Okay, let's look at this person here. Is this a child? That is a child. And this person over somewhere here. Is that, which one would that be? You. That's another child. And I think this person, oh, one of these people's over here. There. And that's another child. Okay, so this house has a bad example. It's got 3 children and 1 unemployed person. That's unfortunate. Clearing drops, alright? Cool. She's clearing drops from a farm. She's clearing drops from a farm. Running over there, running back over here, circling around, coming over this way. She's gonna go grab a piece of wheat. You got this, girl. Got my wheat. Walk past a wheat storage. Still carrying my wheat. Accumulate 300,000. Yay! You will achieve economic victory once you've accumulated 500,000. Well, that's easy. There's a lot of people we can starve off to get there. There you go. She just did that entire circle from here. She was probably running past anywhere else. All the way around to pick up some wheat past at least 1, if not 2 other storage places. To come around and drop the wheat here. Now what is she doing? Now let's see. Let's track the life or lack of life of this lovely person who is right in there now. Oh, and she's turned around, or no? No. That's not you. Okay, you just switched houses. No, that's Karen. Okay, track. Are we tracking a Karen while whining and complaining? I think we are. That's just funny. She's now working at a cattle ranch. Well, she got herself a job this early autumn. Now she's going to go off to her cattle ranch. Nope, she's not. She's working at a cattle ranch clearing drops from a farm apparently stuck at this house. Look at this. Look how many hundreds of people are pouring into this place. What are they doing? Look at this. What? Totally perfectly balanced. At least 100 and some people just poured into this place. What are they doing? You're not working. Is that Karen still? Karen, are you still in there? Are you in there, Karen? Don't try to escape me, Karen. I will find you. I will not find you. You're long gone. I don't know what these people are doing. It's weird, the things that you see when you track people. There we go. Finally, this tailor shop is no longer the party. I'm wondering if they were picking up and delivering product. Like one guy's dropping off the leather, another guy's picking up leather. You're both working there, okay. Third person coming in and working there, apparently. Kid picking up the clothing, okay, because none of them were carrying off clothing. And none of them were actually carrying leather either, so they were just all running over here to do something. I'm not sure what. That is weird. Okay, see if well, we got to put in a cut here, but definitely not finished. So don't you know, you guys are 15 episodes, 14 whatever, 15 episodes in here with me. So we've seen the grief, we've seen the troubles, we've seen the broken marketplace. We've seen the balance issues that the game has right now. So don't assume, don't throw in the towel on it, thinking that it's all dead and broken forever. It's not. There's definitely more to come, except for the fact that there's definitely not more printing presses to come. I wonder if you guys are just too far away from iron. Probably. Probably you are. Let's put that iron output again. You're actually producing tools. Good. How's our tool situation? Oh, our tool situation is lovely. We're hyper overproducing tools, actually. Set delivery back over this way for somebody. There was a building we had allowed. Yeah, let's put it there. Say you can have iron bars, just for the temporary. Not that that's going to be iron bars there. Good, go. We'll let a couple of them be delivered there. Another tech researched. Excellent. Excellent technology breakthroughs, guys. House adjacency sounds like a great idea. So yeah, possibly another episode of this. We'll see if you guys are interested, and we'll look into where the current builds are and see if there is some improvements to get these markets going. I'm aware that I didn't handle the build right according to the current build of the game. I didn't handle the building process of this area. I put down too much, gave them too much to do, and they suicided to try to accomplish the goals because they couldn't figure out the basics of human function. So we'll be okay in the future. I mean, it's midwinter and we're out of food again, so we'll have another starvation spew again, right? This has been going on for years. This was reasonable population, crazy population growth, crazy food growth, and then they stopped. Over the course of 2 years, they went from 400 and something population to 500 population, give or take, and in that process decided that they would stop feeding. And it happened literally, it cascaded right after all of this building. And yeah, I think when we increased housing growth, we had serious problems because our people had a ton of babies that they couldn't afford to feed, couldn't feed themselves, and they're spending a gross amount of time, like we just saw with the tailor shop over here. They're spending a gross amount of time doing nonsense things, right? If there's 100 people in a row that spew into a tailor shop at any time, they weren't tailors. The tailor wasn't sitting there with 1,000 cloth to pick up or something. He can only hold a tiny little bit, right? They'll produce it. It'll go into the inventory. Producing another one. Somebody's going to come by and grab that eventually. There we go. There's the guy that just came by and grabbed it. He's got 8, apparently. Not a lot, but they can carry, I think, 10 at a time, unless they are market workers. But that's where we're currently at. We could keep growing the population. I guess. I mean, the money is solved. We just hit 300,000 and got an announcement. Hey, you're gonna win the game if you hit 500,000. Maybe that's where we stop. I don't know. I'm happy with the game because I've heard from the dev. We've heard from the dev, not I have, but we've heard from the dev hundreds of times in the couple months that I've done this, including I fixed this, I patched this, I changed this, I balanced that, I fixed that problem, I solved this issue. Oops, this caused the problem. We'll fix it. That wasn't intended. Oh, and then this needs an entire rewrite. We'll do it. So I'm not whining about the game's development. I think it's going fantastic. There is definitely game-breaking situations, and again, those are being fixed, like this one, in the current builds that are being made. In the fixes that are being made, those situations are being solved. If your market is working, if you've ever had somebody pick up fruit resources from a market, not deliver stuff to a market, not turn it on, fill it up, and unload it, those both work. I mean, Joe, who's hungry here, his actual name is Samuel. I apologize for the rude naming. Samuel and Jimba here are hungry. If this thing was working, it would have piles of food, and if they are living close enough, they would be able to access this food on a regular basis. Their food, their coal, their medicine, their tools. They wouldn't have to travel the planet. And really, this game, like all city builders, is a logistics game. It's all about, can you balance where the resources are and where what the people have to do to achieve accomplish their survival goals in the process of moving things around for you. So we got this busy little road network, people going crazy doing things, but it's very inefficient things, and so they starve. So we'll be back in another episode or two at some point, either this build or a future build of the game. Let me know in the comments what you think. Nick and Knack has definitely blown the glass ceiling of stopping at 300 in the previous builds. If you watch the other series, we had this problem happen when we hit 300 population. So either Drake's really bad at this game, or some broken features are causing us grief that we shouldn't be dealing with. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me for this series and this game. I absolutely love it. If you want to pick up the game and watch its development, you can do so by going to their Discord. You can also go grab a copy of the game. It's now out on Steam Early Access. And thank you so much for joining me, and we will see you in game.